Hey guys, hello and welcome to another episode of Outdoors Live with everybody here. We have a very special, very fun, probably fairly disorganized and dismembered live stream for you today. As usual, we always have Mr. Grant McIntosh joining me today. I have A&J Outdoors right there, and Luke, my brother, right there, or not if you've read everybody's name tags. That is Mr. Danny Baker. He is coming in place of Mr. John Andrzejewski today. We'll be having a chat with him. John may be joining us shortly. We'll get into that in just a moment. And this is my brother Peter down here. I just wanted to make sure I mentioned Luke because he should be joining us in the chat. So what's up, guys? How are you doing? How's your weekend? How's your Monday? Let's get the whole decompression thing out of it. Grant, I'm going to start with you, sir.
It was definitely a Monday. If John wouldn't have said, hey, I might not make it, I would have said, hey, I'm going to take the night off and just lay in bed and chat. But
I kind of felt the same way.
It's good to be here. It is good to be here. I hope everybody's having a good Monday. If you can, share it out. Let everybody know it is Stanley's birthday.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, bro.
Yeah, gentlemen, I appreciate that. Thank you. I was feeling the same way, Grant. I was gassed today. I'm gassed right now. It's been a long one. I'm worn out. And right now, as we're talking, I'm still getting emails that I need to answer after we're done. I'm just like, I'm so done with this. But rather than, taking a night off or anything, I appreciate that you did drop in with me here. I'm enjoying this. This is going to be a nice, change of pace for me. So I'm looking forward to hanging out with everybody. Looking forward to hanging out with everybody in the chat, who we will get to in just a moment. But before we do, Mr. Danny Baker, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how was your weekend?
Oh, man, my weekend was good. We went out to Browning and ended up catching a 33-inch red. I was pretty happy with that. The biggest one I've caught out there so far. I'm still on the lookout for that 40. But, yeah, I'm kind of like Grant. We had the typical Monday blues. But, hey, the weekend makes up for it, right?
I hope so. The weekend wasn't long enough. That's all I got to say about that.
They never are.
Yeah, they never are. Yeah, you're right about that. A 33-inch red, that's pretty big for Browning. I was under the impression it's kind of hard to get into the 40-inch range out there.
Man, I've heard there's some really big ones out there. If you watch a few videos back, I hooked something. I just couldn't even stop, man. I just kept tightening the drag, and just kept running. And then pop, broke me off. And I was
like, that sucks.
So, I'm pretty sure they're in there because they grow faster at a faster rate than they do in saltwater.
Really? I didn't know that. I thought they couldn't. I knew they can't breed. I didn't know they grew faster in freshwater.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was reading anyway. Somebody might fact check me on that.
Yeah, I'd be curious. All right. Also joining us today, Peter, tell us how your weekend is. What have you got going on and what are you doing? Who are you?
You know what? I've been working on some projects all weekend. I didn't get it other than, drawing. I spent pretty much all day and all night drawing this weekend. I've got a contest that I've been trying to enter, an art contest that is probably going to be one of the toughest ones that I've ever done. And every time I think I got it, somebody throws in another submission, and I'm like, oh, I got to take it up another notch. I don't even know how many notches I can take this thing up. I know it's not hunting and fishing and all that, but that's pretty much what I've been doing this weekend.
So my brother does he does comic book artwork and he does it exceptionally well. I don't have, let me see, Peter, I'll get a link to your social media in the chat in just a moment here. I'll get you all squared away on that. I apologize. It was a heinous day. It was a heinous day. I bit off more than I could chew on a couple of projects that I'm wishing I had not undertaken, but I'm working on them now. And that meant waking up at 6 o'clock this morning, and I had to stop what I was doing so that we could live stream. Now I'll be getting back into it. I hope it all, pays off in the end. But as a result, I apologize, gentlemen. I didn't get everybody's links and everything in the description. I will be putting that in the chat for everybody. I just got to, type it up and put it in there. So I will be doing that for you guys.
Yeah, I got a question for you, man, because this is the other thing I didn't get to this weekend was with Christmas lights. Anybody got their Christmas lights up yet?
I don't even have the tree up yet.
There you go. Danny's got it going on. I have not had time to do it yet. I guess I've kind of had time, but not enough time to do that. So I'm thinking tomorrow.
Yeah, my wife isn't gonna let it fly without Christmas lights, man. She's about it.
That's my daughter. I told her we would do it this weekend, and we ended up on Saturday. We went to my parents' house, which my mom and dad are in the chat down there. Hi, Mom. Thank you for a wonderful weekend and coming and hanging out with us. So we got to keep it clean for Mom. We'll try, Mom. We ended up, so we went to my parents. We had some steaks and just hung out and talked. And as is usually the case on a whenever we go to my parents, we went out there, had dinner. And I bought a bottle of scotch. My dad had a bottle of scotch. We ended up killing them both, sitting around the fire out in the yard, and passed out in the living room. And then it took a little while in the morning for everybody to kind of get their wind, and ended up blowing off Sunday. It was not too eventful on Sunday, but it was fun hanging out with my parents. Oh yeah. So anybody who's interested in seeing what a 33-inch freshwater redfish looks like, what that battle ends up looking like, we have a link to Mr. Danny Baker in the chat down there, a link to his most recent video. Check it out. Great stuff. I've been a fan of Mr. Baker for a long, long time. I was actually a fan of his work before I ever knew who he was. Recently had some issues with his prior channel, and he's had to start over. It's really unfortunate. However, jump in there. He's got great content. He's worth checking out. I promise you.
Oh, sweet. Thanks, man. Yeah,
my pleasure. Also want to take a moment, say hi to everybody in the chat. Mr. Earl Matthews, living Minnesota Outdoors. Of course, Mom. Janet McIntosh, the Wild Game Pursuit. Mr. Mark J. Larson, sir. Appreciate you coming and hanging out. Weekend Warrior Outdoors. I hope I didn't miss anybody there. Guys, everybody's wishing me happy birthday and everything. Thank you very much. I really, really appreciate that. I'm turning 41. And I'm feeling my age today.
I remember 41, almost like it was 5 years ago.
Not bad, not bad. You're looking pretty good for 52 or whatever that math equals out to
be. That's pretty good math. Keep it coming.
I don't
do
math.
What are your plans for tomorrow?
I got to work. I really bit it off with a couple of projects that I can't even talk about right now. Some fun, cool stuff we got coming up in the channel in the near future, but it's causing me to pull like just insane days right now. I'm mad at myself for doing what I did, but whatever. Created a lot of extra work that I didn't need to do. It was unnecessary. It's a project I've been wanting to do for a long time, so I'm just going to go ahead and do it.
Sometime this week, I think we're going to set up the tree, because if I don't do it, it's not going to get done. And then I got to put lights up on the house. So that's my week. Next to finishing off this little drawing that I'm working on, but
that would be a nice accomplishment. If I can get the tree up, then I can feel a little bit more rest assured about the entire rest of the week. If I just get the tree up like today or tomorrow. What about you, Grant? You got your decorations up, and what are your plans for the rest of the week?
We're still undecided on the Christmas tree, even because of the puppies. So we'll probably end up putting one up, but we've been reluctant because of the puppies.
There's a trick for that. On the lights, just kind of shave off some of that plastic coating on them. That'll fix the problem right there. They'll bite into that one time, and that'll be it.
Yeah. Try that. What's up, Mark? Good to see you, Mark J. Larson.
Mr. Larson, appreciate you coming hanging out, man. There's Danny Baker in the they don't have that stupid thing anymore. I wish they'd that's so dumb YouTube did that to where you can't click on somebody's thing and check them out. That's like the dumbest move.
They made a lot of changes recently, I noticed. Like the previews when you're scrolling through your feed, and you got the previews, and they start playing. Well, I noticed that when I'm scrolling up, you can now skip through the timeline while in the preview. So every time I'm scrolling through my feed, my finger catches it, I guess, at the right angle, and YouTube thinks I'm trying to like fast forward through the preview, and I'm trying to scroll up. I guess my hands are, I don't know, diagonal. I gotta work. I gotta figure out a whole new way to hold my phone, I guess. So I don't keep skipping to the end of a video.
I haven't even seen that one yet. Have you guys come across anybody in the chat? Have you guys come across where you can scroll videos while you're running through your feed? You can scroll through the video also, and also Outdoors with Big Matt. How you doing there, sir? Appreciate you coming and saying hi. Yeah, I haven't seen that yet.
I haven't seen that. I have seen where they've kind of changed it up now, where it kind of does a split screen with the chat for the live stream, and then on one side and the video on the other.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Same thing. You have to like X out of it. Even if you turn used to be, I guess, if you turn your phone sideways, it would go away, and you have to hit live chat to see it. Well, now it does a split screen. Kind of annoying because you have to X out of it, and then jump. I don't know. I used to just sideways, upright, sideways. If I want to see chat, I just turn it upright.
Right.
Now it's yeah.
Yes, something I've had wonky for a couple of days is on my notifications, it'll say, like Mark J. Larson posted a video today. It'll say Mark J. Larson posted 2 videos today for everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody, it'll say 2 videos.
I've been getting notifications for videos that posted last week, and then
same here.
I'll check it out, and I'm like, well, this is an old video. What? And then comments. Have you noticed? Have you ever gotten a response when you leave a comment and somebody responds to your comment and YouTube goes, "Congratulations, you've got a response to your comment," or "so and so liked your comment." And I'm like, wow, I feel special now. I just said, great video, or this video is horrible.
Somebody thought that you were worth responding to. That's like a TubeBuddy milestone.
You're important enough to respond to.
Have y'all seen the indexing where you can add like chapters to your videos?
Yeah,
Yes.
I like that.
Hey, a little side note on that. Those chapters are individually searchable via Google. So use them. And so like, like how you put in your metadata and your video and stuff like that so that you can be found in search. For Google, the chapters are individually searchable. So if you have a chapter that's how to clean a redfish, like at the end of the video, you catch one, there's a chapter on how you're cleaning it, where you say how to clean a redfish, that individual chapter can now be searched on Google.
Oh, that's good info.
Yeah, so it increases the amount of things you can get searched for.
Okay, so how does that work as far as, so if I click on that after I Googled it and it starts playing 6 minutes into it, does that hurt your watch time and all that?
From that wonderful question. From all of the information, TubeBuddy did a study on this, so did YouTube and some other guys, and from everything that every single person I have spoken to, and this has been over the course of about 6 months on this now, but every single thing I've heard from every single person all says that it only helps you. Nobody has seen any data that says that it hurts you, because people are finding exactly what they're wanting to find, so they end up watching longer than they would have otherwise.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I've been getting better suggestions lately too. I usually stick to my subscriptions. I don't really go to the home page or whatever. But every now and then there won't be anything to watch. I hit the home page, and I've actually been getting some pretty decent suggestions on videos. Like they're honing it in, I guess. I don't know if it's something changed or I'm just more active, so it knows more what I'm looking for. But I did notice that too. Which is kind of neat.
Well, at first thought, when I seen Danny's video, the how to catch redfish at Bronig Lake, and then the freshwater redfish, I thought, well, maybe he should put how to catch redfish or freshwater redfish and put Bronig Lake where he's got freshwater redfish. But then looking at his search engine score, he's a 95 on TubeBuddy, so I think he did all right.
Yeah, I was really following that after, Stanley made a call with me and showed me some stuff about it. And man, that was infinitely valuable. I appreciate it. And it jumped that score way up.
Now that score, just an FYI on that, people get all excited about that score. Like, I've got 100 SEO score. That means this video is going to be a banger. And that's not quite the way that works. Just so anybody looking at that means that you're totally optimized. But if you're made a redfish video and you are totally optimized for wood foundation flooring, that it doesn't matter how well optimized you are, you got it all wrong. Or if your video is just a black video with no audio, you know, it's like that. Like none of that's going to work. If you're totally optimized for the right terms, then it's good to go. It shows that your video itself is as efficient and as optimized as it can be. Is what that score reflects.
Yeah, I was watching a thing on that about like humanizing your titles, so that it's not like how to catch redfish at Browning or something. It's more like these mistakes will lose you fish. You know, so you actually cater to the human versus the algorithm. Like,
it's a balancing.
Try to work on that.
It's a balancing act. For there's two different things you can do. You can do virality. You can do searchability. And some people are searching for, you know, they want the 5 reasons why saltwater redfish taste better. They want that. That's exactly the video they're looking for. If it's a vlog, if it's going to be a storytelling device kind of thing, that sort of deal, then they're going to want, you will not believe the thing that we caught in this freshwater lake. You know, it's and you got it. You can plug in the SEO. It's a thing.
You won't believe this, and then the cops showed up, or
yeah,
you know what I mean? You get lots of red and blue lights in the thumbnail.
You won't believe, and then this happened. Like add that to any video title.
Like the I almost got shot while
fishing. This thing almost happened.
Yeah, that actually got me a lot of views, even though I didn't actually capture almost getting shot on film. I wish I did, but you could hear pop and pop. And I was like, "Oh, get out of here, man!" But there's a gun range right by there.
I was gonna go for a jog and then say, you know, just went for a jog and then almost died from the telephone pole, and then just walked by the telephone pole. You know, if that telephone pole fell, it could have fallen on me, and I could have died from that. There you go. That's my hook.
Yeah. So I need to get with the chat here real quick. We need to get caught up on this. Starting from the back end here, WTF Mike. Speaking of which, appreciate you being here, man. I didn't say hi yet. It's always an honor and a privilege to have you with us, sir. So did John lose some serious weight, or who's the new guy in the top right? So Grant and I had a little discussion and decided that Steve and John were probably a little long in the tooth, and it was time to move along with a new crew.
Oh, no.
Well, who am I? Who am I?
Yeah, that's a good question, actually. I think I'm going to say Danny's more John and Peter's more Steve.
Okay. So I'm just going to sit here. Hold on, I got this. Hold on. What does he do? Hold on, my internet's not working.
That's your best Steve impersonation?
I guess. Well, he hasn't been on in a while, right?
He is not. He is working on a second YouTube channel, and it's taken up a whole lot of his time, plus working on the farm and everything else that he's doing. Wintertime is hurting his fishing, so he had to take a little bit of a step back from the live streaming as a result of that. He's really putting in his time on it and focusing on doing it right.
I'm going to hold off on my impressions. That's what I'm doing. I'm not doing a good impression.
Monica, it is a pleasure to see you, man. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us. Always a pleasure. We got MBA in the house, sir. Thank you very much for joining us. Trying to get through the chat thing here. Oh, so speaking of YouTube stuff, we're not trying to have like a YouTube stream or nothing like that, but since we're on that subject, hey, Hooked R&R, hey, appreciate you coming and hanging out with us as well. Thank you so much. Hadn't seen you in a minute. How have you been doing? On a different little like YouTube update thing, and you guys in the chat, I'm kind of curious what your thoughts are on this. I have my own opinion. So they're getting rid of the dislike button. Actually, that thing will be gone in about 6 days.
I thought they just got rid of the number. Now they're actually getting rid of the button?
I think they're actually getting rid of the button itself.
Well, it is a fairly new button anyways, as far as relativity goes. Like, YouTube's been around for a while. Didn't the dislike button just pop up like 2 or 3 years ago?
No, they had different things. They used to have like a 5-star rating system that I thought was kind of good, but whatever. I guess my opinion didn't mean nothing. By the way, Mike's calling you Peter. He's calling you a dollar store version of Steve at best.
Oh.
Probably talking too much.
Shots
Hey,
fired.
Wayne, we got C Pro Fishing. Sir, how you been doing? I haven't had a chance to check out that new video, but man, it looked like a killer. It looked like a killer day on the water. If nothing else, I saw that you got yourself a killer yellowtail, yellow
Wayne's
snapper.
got a new video.
I thought he did just a couple days ago.
I didn't get that notification. I seen where he posted something on Facebook that he had been catching a bunch of fish, and he was going to have some videos.
Oh, now I need to fact check myself. I'm gonna check it out and make sure I'm right on that.
Hey, what are the rules on catching fish in a lake with like a fish trap? Is it legal?
I don't
see a
know.
lot of videos on how to do it. I'm like, yeah, it looks kind of fun. I wonder what the legalities are. Like, I know if you leave a line out, you're supposed to tag it or whatever. But what about like one of those bucket traps or something, like kind of like a crab trap, but for fish?
I would think that would be only non-game fish, because game fish are hook and line only.
Okay.
Yeah, and that would be that. I second that. I think that it's game fish is where they get really picky about stuff. I don't believe bluegills or anything count as game fish, so you can probably net them up all day. Correct
Not
me in the
here.
chat if anybody knows.
Yeah, you can't in Illinois. You can't. The only way you can use bluegill is if you catch it in the same spot that you were, the same body of water you were going to use it for bait. That's the only way you can use a bluegill for bait here.
What about netting them? Can you use a cast net or a fish trap?
I don't think so. I think
You
it's
know, it's-
considered a bait fish.
Yeah, I mean, it's not as much fun anyways, unless you're sitting out there fishing and you have it, or you're camping out overnight or something, like what we'd do with crabs.
Yeah.
But you know what's interesting is you can cast net a flounder, but you can only use it for bait, and it has to be legal keeper size. Since it's
I
not a
thought that
game fish.
flounder. I thought flounder actually had some like a no-go or whatever this year.
Well,
that's
not right
that's
now.
a season. Yeah, right now you can't get them.
I
But
thought it
normally-
was because of last year's freeze. I thought they had some sort of restriction on them this year.
Yeah, they do. But normally when the season's fully open, since they're not a game fish, same as sheep's head. You could cast net a sheep's head, but you can't keep it to eat. But you could use it for bait, which is kind of
That's-
weird. But it
Yeah,
has to be legal size.
You know, that's one fall we got to take the girls on. We're going to take our daughters out flounder fishing.
I know it's high on my list. I'm terrible at it.
one of
I'm
my-
not good at flounder.
Yeah. It was one of my least favorite things as a kid, going out in like the winter or whatever, freezing, catching flounder, that and clamming.
Which is
Well,
all the more reason why the girls need to do it.
Exactly. We got to take them out there and do those horrible, miserable trips.
Dude, flounder is super easy once you know the little pattern. They're
Mhm.
super easy to predict. They're always in eddies. They're not in rough water. And then you just cast like an artificial, and you just pull it up 1 inch. You reel, stop, 1 inch, reel, stop. It's kind of painful though. But if
I
you know where
remember
they
doing it
are,
I remember doing it with like by hand, or what did we have when we were doing that? I just remember finding a lot of stargazers every time we went to go find flounder. We'd get zapped by stargazers. So I don't know if we were like hand fishing. I don't know what we were doing. I was young. That was a long time ago, and I got zapped a lot, so my memory's probably gone.
yeah, it's
Yeah, not to mention crabs and stuff are always nibbling at you when you do it. We'd go gigging them, and to gig them, we'd just go with a lantern in shallow water, just walking out there, you know, like in the freezing
Kind of
cold.
like stingray.
Yeah, I did the same for stingrays too in the surf.
I
Well,
still
when we
haven't
were,
done that. Sorry.
you're all good. When we were leaving there in the beach that night, there was people on that pier that were, they flounder fishing or spearing. The ones it was dark. They were using lights in the water.
There was actually, yeah. So I forgot about that. When Grant was down, we went out to Packery Channel at night and failed miserably. But there was some other people on the jetty who did pretty good. They were catching reds. They had live menhaden. We were using artificials, and the clarity wasn't great, as I recall. conditions were bad. So the Reds were going after the live bait, and they love menhaden. And on our way walking out the jetty, there was a couple who were down there. They were snorkeling and spearfishing flounder in the rocks.
Dude,
I'd never seen anybody
so
do that like that before. And they were snorkeling in like 3 feet of water, like it wasn't even deep.
That would be so cool.
Taking stingrays all the way down the beach, that was a lot of fun. Just get a spotlight and a gap and just walk down the beach. And then you come back with 5 or 6 stingray.
So Danny, WTF Bike says 1 inch at a time. He says I should be pretty good at that. I thought he was talking bad about you, but he kept it clean and he's making fun of himself on this one.
Yeah, I'm not gonna touch that one. But yeah, that's how you do it. They're extremely lazy. You'll cast past them like 3 times before they'll actually hit it. So yeah, you just kind of 1 inch, drop it, 1 inch, drop it, 1 inch, drop it.
You know what my dad was saying? I was talking to my dad about that on Saturday because we're talking about doing some flounder fishing. He said when he was younger, they would go out to Shamrock Cove and Croker Hole and that whole area, and they'd be in shallow water. And what him and his brother Perry would they just go and stand next to each other at their spot, and they'd just start casting and just cast and cast and cast and cast. And they probably wouldn't get that many, and they'd be reeling them in. They wouldn't do an inch at a time. They'd probably do a foot or two, just a regular jig and pull. But what would happen is after doing that for about 45 minutes, they'd start catching them in the 10 to 15 foot, like 10 to 15 feet away. And so what was happening as they're casting, the flounder are chasing in their lures and then stopping and then chasing them and stopping and then chasing. So they're drawing in this big school of flounder. And after about 45 minutes, you got them all huddled around you like 15, 20 feet away. And then you start catching them, because they're all in that general vicinity of each other.
That makes sense. Most of the time they're within about 10 feet of the shore. So you see everybody launching those long bomb casts, Yep. They're right in front of you. They're right at your feet.
That's every time I go to the jetty. Everybody's they're going for the distance on their cast, and it's like all of the fish. I went spearfishing on the South Jetty a year and a half ago. It was really clear. It was a really nice day out. And I was spearfishing down there, and everybody's they got the surf rods, and they're putting their back into those casts. And I was sitting there, and I found a hole spearfishing at the foot of one of these rocks, and I got to swim underneath people's lines and everything. I dived down, and like 6 feet down was this massive school of snook and drum and reds. It was a hole right there, and it was literally, this guy's toes were on the edge of that rock, and it was all right underneath him. And he had this 10-foot rod that he was using to cast out as far into that channel as he could. And it was missing everything. It was all right below him.
Wow. Yeah, I could attest to that, being snorkeling the jetty myself and spearing there. They're all right underneath the rocks. You'll see like 100 snook underneath the rocks when you poke your head under there.
Yeah. Yeah, they're all hanging out just right there.
And I can't wait to get back to spearing. It's been such a bad year for visibility.
Yeah, man, you missed our Sharkathon. That was the time to go. I haven't been this year either. I haven't been out.
Have you gotten hit by a cold front yet? We just got hit, I don't know, earlier today.
It's blowing in. It's not cold yet. I'm actually a little bit warm here because I thought it was going to be cold, and it's not, but it's blown through, and it's the temperature's dropping.
Hey, man, and that means it'd be pretty clear in a couple of days, like flat and clear, wouldn't it? You know what I mean?
It depends. Even like a 2-mile north wind is going to kick crap into the surf, change the currents and everything else. It can keep it muddy like that. It's this time of year, it's hard to get clear water. This period. We are gearing up for Wahoo. I had that discussion on Saturday as well, trying to get a Wahoo trip in. C-Pro, hey, and if anybody knows what they're talking about, above all else, C-Pro knows what he's doing. Wayne says, so true. The fish are on the rocks. When I'm in the boat, he goes right up to the rocks and starts throwing there. And yeah, I did that video recently where it was like, had all those boats that were piled around the end of the jetties, and they were all fishing the rocks. And, we did pretty good just fishing off the rocks. You don't want to get hung up and caught, though. Yeah, Scully. Sharkathon was amazing. Those beautiful weather conditions. Kind of hard to get into fish because it was so clear, but superb conditions. And yeah, now the cold front hitting us is kind of slowing things down.
Sharkathon was a lot of fun. That water was so clear. I haven't seen it like that in a while.
Yeah. Speaking of that, Grant, we have some hunting things. Probably a couple of things I need to discuss with you behind the scenes. It doesn't have to be a full conversation via live stream, but we got some hunting stuff to talk about. How are your hunting conditions right now? How's everything looking?
And this was the second shotgun season, and I've got a few buddies that shotgun hunt, and only one of them got a decent buck last night. He shot probably 140-inch 8-pointer right before dark. He just last day of season, he shot him, but it was hot. I didn't duck hunt this weekend because it was freaking 60 degrees, 70 degrees one day.
He's complaining about 70 degrees.
It's too hot for duck hunting. I mean,
Is it really?
It's
hot.
Stupid.
I thought you were gonna say cold.
No, it's hot. I mean, it got down. It was 42 this morning, so. But it's supposed to be, I think, 64 again this Saturday. I mean, it's just stupid hot for December. Yeah, for hunting, I want it 30, 40 degrees. I want a little bit of ice on the water. I mean, the ducks don't have to fly. If it's 60 degrees, they're not having to get up and eat. Deer don't have to get up and move to eat. Just chilling.
Yeah, I remember Christmas one day. We went to the beach one year. Remember that, Paul? We went to the beach.
It was like every year for like 20 years. But yeah.
Well, it was a Christmas day. We went to the beach, and it was like 90. It was like 80, maybe 80 or 90 degrees outside. And we're like, what a nice Christmas day. It's like nice and cool outside. And, nice December in Texas. It was a good Christmas day.
Man, the one that was like the tell-all for me is we did a drum video a couple years ago that I'll never forget. It was January 26th, and it was, I think we topped off at like 75 degrees that day. We were all in shorts and t-shirts, and the water was crystal clear, and it was gorgeous and wonderful at the end of January. And I just remember that so vividly because I don't ever keep track of it. Like right now, like, okay, so I know mentally, it's my birthday today, and I know that when my birthday hits, that's when everything goes to shit. Like the weather starts to suck. I don't like anything, I don't like cold temperatures. I've got a sweater on because we may drop into like 60 degrees or whatever tonight, and I can't handle that. So I know that at this time of year is when that whole thing starts to happen, and it's not until about mid-March when it all comes back. It's the misery season. It's the whole reason Rachel's like this too, and it's the whole reason we go to Mexico every January is just to give us some reprieve from the misery of a 60-degree winter.
Yeah, I got down. I don't know exactly what the temperature is outside, but it's probably in the upper 50s, mid 50s right now, and it's pretty cold for me. And I'm a big guy. I'm thick, so I don't usually get cold. I walk around, in shorts outside in the snow, but when it comes in, I'm like used to like 80, 90 degree weather or 100 degree weather, and you get that first cold front in, it's like your body hasn't adapted yet, and I'm not burning off that all that fat yet. So it's cold right now. I don't want to go outside.
See, I love the cold, man. It makes the fishing so much easier because you know right where they're going to be, like in the deep holes.
Yeah.
Oh, that having been said, I know a hole that not many people know about over on the Port Aransas channel at the Port Aransas jetty. No, they don't, because I'm not identifying where it's at. But if anybody wants to go catch some bull reds while they're still here,
all right, Port Aransas,
beer's on you.
Jetty, Port Aransas. All right, I'm gonna mark it, and I'm gonna just do
that jetty is damn near a mile long. Mark it all day long. I'm fine with that. They also rebuilt that jetty, so it's not the same jetty that you know.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a couple of years.
Yeah, Harvey. When Harvey hit, so the jetty sticks out of the water like this. So it when Harvey hit, part of it kind of fell off like that, and there was like a channel up the side of the jetty, like in there. So they had to pull all that stuff off, and then they rebuilt it. That's the best way I can describe that.
Yeah, I didn't know that. It's been a really long time since I've like dived or anything around the jetty in Port Aransas with like snorkel gear and all that, fins. God, man, it's been like 20 years for me.
Yeah, that's a long time, dude.
I mean, I've swam around, but I haven't actually like gone with the gear and everything to go check it out in a really long time. I guess that makes sense that, you know, the topography would change over 20 years. I know this spot, guys. This is a hole. 20 years ago, there was this hole and all the fish.
Back when
I
the
swear
Cowboys.
it hasn't been filled in yet.
I was gonna say back when the Cowboys won the Super Bowl, right?
The
Yeah,
Cowboys did
pretty
win the
much.
Super Bowl.
Peter's also, he's all like, the Cowboys won the Super Bowl? What?
No, that's all I remember because once they started losing, I stopped watching. So yeah, that tells you how long it's been since I've watched.
And somewhere I have a map of all the spurs of the jetty. I'd have to look it up and find it, but yeah, it's pretty interesting. There's a lot of spurs that go out, and then they just kind of get deeper as the jetty progresses offshore. It's pretty interesting for spearfishing. I need to look it up and find it so I can get back into that next year. Hopefully, we get better visibility.
It's coming up, man.
So in the wintertime, we get these north winds, and that has a tendency of kicking up the surf and everything and makes it all muddy over there. But what happens is the lee side of the island starts to get clear. Like I've seen 20-foot visibility on the lee side of Padre Island, and that I've never done it. I've swam when we've done like going for clams and things like that. It'll be like, 35 degrees outside. It's absolutely miserable, but it's 20-foot visibility. So,
hey, I got a wetsuit. Let's go.
Yeah, that's kind of my thought on it. It's going to be totally miserable because you're jumping in with a wetsuit. Even with a wetsuit, you're going to get out and you're going to be just completely freezing. And you're going to be freezing until you get back to the car, get changed, and sit in the heater. There's no getting around it. But that is a thing that's possible. There's going to be flounder down there. I don't know, maybe sheep's head. I don't know what all is going to be available down there, but there's stuff there, and that's a thing that can be done. Clams and scallops and stuff.
Like that, everybody's wetsuits that never fit me, so I never had my own. So I always just used, my body wetsuit, like my inch of layer of fat, so I would always never have any issues. Everybody else was out there surfing with wetsuits on, and I just adapt. I got used to it. I kind of want to do that again. Where's that the polar bear thing?
The polar bear club.
Polar bear, yeah. Really, honestly, the few times that I did wear wetsuits didn't strike me as like any better than doing just without a wetsuit. I know it does make a difference because you do trap in a little bit of heat, but honestly, I didn't notice. Once I adapted to the cold, I never really had that much of an issue with the cold.
I think it just increases your breath hold time.
Well, that's true. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, wetsuits turns on that heater, and
I wasn't
the heater's going.
This is mainly, I guess, for surfing. So yeah, I guess I wouldn't have needed to hold my breath or anything like that.
They always bothered me because they're so constrictive. I would get sore faster, like for surfing purposes, paddling. I would get sore so much faster. Like I might have been warm, but it would wear my shoulders out so much faster paddling around and stuff. A little bit different when you were diving, but the flotation diving, that was another pain. Of course, you can adjust that with a weight belt. But Wayne says, does your area have Seymour mapping? Danny, do you know? I don't have an answer for that.
I don't know what that is.
If it's what I think it is, I'm pretty sure they have that on almost the entire, like the entire coast, if I'm not mistaken. So that would mean yes.
I don't know. Like, see, I think they have Seymour for, like, I think Perry. If it's what I think it is, I think Perry has Seymour mapping for the continental shelf. I don't think, like, I've never seen that for inshore, and maybe Perry has it, and we never do, stuff that close. We never fish within 40 miles of the coast with him, so I don't know, but I think he has that for the shelf, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm not entirely sure. I kind of feel like to ask about that.
All right, let me do a search. I'll get to the bottom of this.
Give Perry a call. Why isn't Perry hanging out with us? We need that information from him, like direct from the
I
horse's
agree.
mouth.
Perry should definitely be in the chat, at least, if not on stream.
I
He's
agree.
got a lot of information with that. Where is he at?
Come to think of it, I don't think I've ever seen Perry in the chat. That's dumb. We're going to have to talk to him about that.
Yeah, I know we have Navionics, but it's not incredibly accurate. That's my main website when I'm looking for depth changes and places where there might be current pinches and things like that. But yeah, no, it's not incredibly accurate. It'll say it's like 6 foot deep, and you get out there and it's like 2 foot.
So it looks like they got the mapping offshore. Well, no, actually, they might have it on the coast too. Just off the top, I'm not actually deep diving on this one. I'm just looking here, but it does look like offshore they have it, and then a little bit on the South Texas maybe.
Yeah, I'm going to have to look into this. I don't know anything about it. I just think I remember having heard that term, but I don't know anything about it. Wayne says it's a game changer and makes waypoints obsolete.
Oh, wow. That would be amazing.
So they've got like the shelf. They've got the shelf like for the whole Gulf, but they don't, as far as like on the shoreline, I'm seeing a lot of shoreline here, especially in the South, but just off a quick search, I'm not seeing anything instantly for the Port Aransas area.
Yeah, and I see WTF Mike talking about live scope. I know I've got that thing where I record, and I can actually record the bottom, but I haven't used it much. But you can go back and forth and make like a map of the bottom on my fish finder. But I haven't used that much, so I can't really talk about it.
I've never seen that one before either.
Man, that sounds really cool. Like,
that does sound really cool.
I think it's called Active Map, something like that. It's on most new fish finders. The problem on a kayak, though, is it's a huge pain in the butt to spend the whole day doing it.
We were, last time, Stanley, I was up here in Waco, we were looking at fish finders, just kind of at Academy, joking around. We saw one that, it was like, you could see the definition of the tree laying at the bottom of the lake.
Yeah.
You know, it was like that accurate. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, I had that, the down imaging. That is really good. You can see a school of crappie sitting right on one branch. You know exactly where to cast.
I've seen that. My brother-in-law Sean has that, and it was really cool because you could see the difference between branch and muskie. You know, you could tell. You could almost see the fins on the muskie sticking out, knowing the difference. There was a couple of times where we saw a mark, and he was like I want to say Rachel got herself a really big, badass muskie, and I want to say he saw that thing on the radar and told her exactly, like, you know, cast here and let it drop, you know, open bail. Like, he gave her full-on instructions when she caught that thing.
Yeah, these new fish finders are a game changer, man, especially like that live scope. You can, like, see the fish eat your lure, which is insane, in my opinion, yeah.
Or the cast net. I've seen the pictures of the cast net as they drop and they bell out.
Oh, that'd be cool.
There's Mr. Steve Holland Ash.
Hey, Steve. How are you doing, sir?
What's happening, bud?
Appreciate you dropping in. We also got my dad and Sunfish Assassin. Gentlemen, appreciate y'all coming and hanging out with us.
Hey, Steve, I'm not a dad living up to you, apparently. I'm the dollar Steve.
Yeah, WTF Mike, Steve, WTF Mike called Peter down here the dollar store version of you.
I guess that'd be the dollar store John.
Yeah, pretty much. Gentlemen, I appreciate both of you, but you got big shoes to fill.
What's up, Jimmy C? Good to see you, Jimmy C. Cheers. So, Danny, you primarily fish out of a kayak every time you fish?
Man, I'm almost like a kayak purist, you would say. I've had boats, I've had skiffs, I've had all that stuff, but I just love the kayak. I mean, it's so sneaky. You could just get right up on a fish. Like if you watch where we were in Port Aransas to the spot that Stanley showed me. I mean, we were hauling butt right beside a school of redfish the whole time. They never knew we were there, making multiple casts at them all day. And it's just, you can do so much more than the boat, in my opinion. Not quite a paddle purist, but I'm a kayak purist.
I'm kind of slapping myself. I don't remember sharing a spot with you, and if I did, I'm wondering what damn spot I'm giving out. Need to have a chat with myself.
Oh, we were talking about going out to that spot. We're talking about doing a collaboration, and then my wife claimed your kayak. Remember?
I remember that. I remember that discussion. I don't remember giving out a spot. That's the part that flags where I'm like, hold on a second. No, I didn't. I must have lied to you. There's no way.
Yeah, that was that day he, gave you a bottle of liquor, and then y'all were drinking.
Yeah. It was probably a live stream day. I'd had a couple of drink, and I was just feeling,
I think we were texting back and
generous.
forth, and I was looking for a flat spot, and I've gone back there a couple times. It's actually a pretty good area.
Yeah, okay. I remember what you're talking about. Yeah, and that is a good area. Okay, that's a good area that I don't get to fish much. So that makes sense that I can understand why I gave out that fishing spot now.
Oh, dude, it's beautiful for a kayak. It's like 2 foot deep in most spots. And some spots you got to pull up your drive and actually paddle.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's perfect for a kayak. You don't get many boats in there on you. And you could just do like we did. We just followed that school of reds for like 2 hours, just constantly tossing at them until they finally decided to start to eat. And then it was game on.
I wish I could fit in a kayak better. I wish they made like a Peter kayak, because they don't.
Dude, the ones I got, man, you can walk around on them. I've walked all the way up to the nose and jumped up and down.
You know what a kayak for me would be? It'd be a sunfish or a dolphin sailboat. That's a kayak for me, because I'm a big guy. I'm not very balanced, I guess. I have to ride the longboards.
Oh,
but yeah, that dolphin would have been a good idea. If we could turn that into a paddle boat, that'd have been a good kayak.
Man, I brought my wife out in one, and she loved it. The one I put her in is the Old Town Topwater, and you can't go wrong. I mean, you can walk from one end to the other. It's got this flat bottom, so you won't flip. It's got the pedal drive, so you just pedal along and just make your little cast.
Oh, that's cool. Pedal drive.
Oh, man. It's so stable. It's ridiculous. It's like a little John boat.
I've been wanting to get a good catamaran. Now, there's no use for one up here, but I mean, I had a lot of fun growing up with catamarans. We had like two, right? We grew up with 2 of those.
We didn't do kayaks growing up. We did. We had those little mini we had the little dolphin sailboats. We had the catamarans. And then the John boat. Those are the things that we used in high school. My dad had like a whole yard full of little boats.
Yeah, kayak for me.
Mr. Covarrubias, sir, it is a pleasure. I really appreciate you. I'm in need of a refill, but I'm like a couple feet away, so I got to wait a few minutes. But sir, cheers. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure just to have you hanging out with us, man.
Hey, cheers to that.
I appreciate you making it. Makes it it's all the more special when you're here.
I just finished this just now. That's my birthday present. Man, this stuff is good.
Nice.
Yeah, I've been in a kayak once. A buddy of mine actually has a kayak that he's got a little troller motor on. I mean, it's like 18 inches big, long. Little trolling motor he's got mounted on it, rigged up a little rig for it, but he's actually tipped it over last year in the river duck hunting. So I'm still a little afraid of a kayak in the river in the duck season when it's like freezing, you get hypothermia. I'm scared.
Dude, I've thought about that, building a duck blind kayak. They've got ones where you're sitting in the kayak and there's still the duck blind, and you just jump them from the kayak. Like the little flaps pop open, and you jump up with the shotgun.
Does it have like confetti that shoots out too?
Yeah, you look like a log floating around, And you're sitting there going, Yeah, but hooked
Yeah,
our
that
arms
sounds like
exactly
fun.
right.
They had to get
I've
one of
thought
those
about
stabilizing arms on each side of it, but then that'd be awesome. We haven't done duck hunting in forever, man. Like it has been I think I've only ever gone duck hunting maybe twice, and at least that I remember. And I had a blast. One of the times, Stanley shot my younger brother Luke.
So we can talk about portions of that singular trip, but I'm afraid the other hunting trips, the other times we've done duck hunting, we cannot talk about.
I'm not talking about it. I'm talking about the time you shot Luke. You almost killed my little brother.
It was a 12 gauge. It wasn't, I don't know, it was across the pond. He was fine.
Yeah, he was fine. Actually, I was with him, if I remember. Yeah, I was with him.
Yeah, you guys were both over there.
Both of us.
I was locked on, man. I was locked on. I had my ducks in the sights, and I got them. I just didn't realize what was behind them.
It wasn't a duck. It was like my hair. It was like,
Yeah, you did. My dad says he didn't hear about that. Yeah, he did. It was when we were at that at the Harrow Pond.
Yeah,
at Jody's pond.
Yeah, he was there. He was laughing. I remember, Dad, you were laughing.
He's telling off on you right now.
My mom's watching, so he's trying to back himself out of this conversation. What's going on?
Unless that's Mom on Dad's phone or something.
That might be the case too.
Yeah,
my mom never heard about it. She never heard about that.
There's some things moms don't need to know. I mean,
yeah.
No, there's a lot of stuff she never heard about.
If she knows
most of the time that doesn't get brought up in the live stream. It's not a problem. Unfortunately, like I was telling Peter, like there's only so much of that conversation we can have.
Well, there's a lot of stuff she knows that she doesn't know, and she's fine with that. So it's yeah. He doesn't. That's good. Maybe I'm just imagining it.
It was all just made up, Dad. It's just a story. It didn't really happen.
Hey, it's just for the stream. I'm just making that all up. Content.
I do want to say that's like the last time we were able to get home. That's the last time we ever did any duck hunting. It's been forever. Grant, I can't go to any place and see ducks in the water. Like I'm going to do a trout fishing trip down here in a couple of days, next week, the week after, whatever. I'm going to go trout fishing at a duck pond. And like I see that, I see goose, geese, whatever. I see any of that, and I'm like, I automatically think of you. And I'm always, even at the ramp when we're launching the boat, like when we're at Canyon Lake or from Wisconsin, I can't even see ducks at the ramp without thinking about you and sending pictures. Actually, I got pictures to send you from Canyon Lake I forgot about.
Yeah, I definitely want to go duck hunting again. I love duck. Duck is delicious. And rabbit.
my favorite.
Honestly, I actually prefer duck and rabbit over, I don't know, this is controversial, but like over venison. You know, I get a lot of flack for that, but I actually like duck and rabbit and alligator are some of my favorite meats.
Yeah, I haven't had good alligator yet. Maybe one of these days.
Love alligator.
Oh, man. Yeah, alligator tail.
I think we had it at Renaissance, and it just wasn't. It wasn't my favorite.
Y'all have a Chewy's down there, right? It's like, no, not Chewy's.
So.
No, it's I'm thinking of the wrong place. There are places, if you can't find, gator tail meat somewhere to cook yourself, there are restaurants that sell it that are delicious. Yeah, I like that, Dad.
So in the chat here, my dad is telling my mom that she needs to go ahead and turn her phone off for a minute. She's asking why. He's saying he's not wanting to admit to anything. That's happening down in the chat. You can get in on that. And if you're not watching this live, if you're catching the replay, we appreciate you hanging out this long. But this is what you're missing out on. It's conversations like this. And conversations like what WTF Mike has got for you here, Peter. He says you're a communist.
Your mom says no.
Why?
Because you're calling duck over venison. And I can't argue. I like duck, but dude, venison, seriously.
No, it's just it's a matter of taste, comrade. It's just a matter of taste. Me and my comrades love, duck and rabbit over venison.
Oh, shoot.
Hey, Carrie, how are you doing? I hadn't talked to you in forever.
Hey,
Thank
Carrie,
you so much for
so
dropping
much.
by, saying hi. Thank you. Having a wonderful birthday with everybody. And she needs some info from you, Peter, about the Michael's YouTube rabbit.
Yeah.
Did
right.
we get rabbit? I don't remember that.
Yeah, hit me up after all this, and then we'll figure that one out. Is he gonna do it? Is he? Well, Michael does not have a YouTube channel, so what are we gonna? I don't know if the meat. I'm not sure what we're talking about. Here, I have a couple of ideas of what that means. Hey, Michael.
Hey, Mike.
So, Mike.
What's up, Sloan? I see you in the chat. That's one of my fishing buddies.
Jesse, appreciate you coming and saying hi. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'm having a day. I'm having a good day now that we're getting to hang out with everybody, having a happy birthday. It was a rough day leading up to this. It's actually been a rough couple of weeks. I'm still playing catch up with so many stupid things right now.
You know what? Today was kind of a weird day for me too. And I don't know if you want to talk about this or not, but so Friday I catch wind that there is talk amongst the students at my daughter's school that so and so is planning on shooting up the school on Monday. And so we made a report, and we got an email saying the police have investigated, and there's nothing to worry about. These are rumors and whatever, spread a bunch of kids. Everything's fine. And I'm like, you know what? I think I'm gonna hang on. My kid's not gonna go to the school on Monday, which was today, and I'm not gonna really base the well-being of my kid on an email. Like, I would have preferred maybe a phone call or something, because this.
Oh, shit.
So I didn't know if I was overreacting or not.
Dude, we got black and red fish with crawfish etouffee.
Dude, that's what that would have been. Just for the record on that, that would have been the perfect birthday meal.
Forget what I was talking about.
You got to share with the crowd.
Was delicious.
That smells so good.
Yeah, the wife in the background gave 2 thumbs up, and she was like, giving herself props.
Yep.
You've got to take a bite of that on the stream.
Let's see. Here we go.
For memes.
Hey, get a little
Somebody
fish.
put this.
So Carrie's saying she needs a rabbit for Michael.
Got it.
Peter will get you taken care of on that. He'll get you a rabbit. Oh, gentlemen, we're pushing this thing just a little bit late. We got like a minute left here. So it's time we're going to do lightning round on this. What has everybody got coming up? What are the exciting things we can expect from everybody? I want to give everybody in the chat an opportunity to check these guys out. If you have not yet subscribed to Mr. Grant McIntosh, then you've been living under a rock, because that gentleman is one of my all-time favorite creators, period, bar none. Mr. Danny Baker over here is one of our South Texas gentlemen. He does a lot of kayak fishing, and I got into him because of the spearfishing videos that he was doing. I'm looking forward to seeing some more of those in the future. He's got a new channel he's working on now. I got Peter Orchard down here. You need to check him out on social media. He is a comic book artist. He's my brother.
Twitter,
Instagram, Twitter, all of that fun stuff. So while you were checking them out, gentlemen, let me know, what are the plans for this week? What have we got going on? Peter, I'm going to start with you.
Man, I'm going to keep working on these projects that I'm working on right now, which is a bunch of drawing projects. I've got a comic book I'm working on, which has nothing to do with what y'all are doing on your channel, but it's all art. For me, art, that's it. Generally comic book stuff. I'm coming down in a couple weeks, and we're going to go do some fishing.
We're going to do some fishing. We also need to work out one of these projects that I've been sweating bullets about, and everything that involves some of your artwork. Mr. Danny Baker, what have you got coming up for us, or what can we expect to see from you in the coming weeks?
Well, this weekend, unfortunately, I'm busy, but I really want to get on some of these rainbow trout stockings up here in New Braunfels. Man, they stock like 20,000 of them in the New Braunfels River.
They're going to do 600 in the duck pond down here, and I'm going to get about 300 of those.
How are they going to do that in the duck pond? The duck pond's it's like the size of a ping pong table.
That's exactly why I'm going to be fishing there. It's like fishing a barrel, except the barrel's a little bigger than a barrel.
It makes it so easy, man. Just go get you some road runners and just toss them.
I got a cast net. Thank you, Phytech.
A couple of them.
Grant, what do you got for us, man? You're the one I'm most intrigued about. You got some really fun seasons coming up your way, and I want to see what you got.
Man, I'm working all week, of course. We don't have another permit for duck hunting until the 18th. One of my best friends actually had a permit for tomorrow, but his wife had a C-section this morning, so unfortunately he can't go, and I have to go to work. So
I'm sorry.
So I'm not sure what I'm going to do this weekend. It's supposed to be 60 and thunderstorm Saturday. I'd like to duck hunt. It's duck season. That's what I'm supposed to be doing, but 60 degrees, man, it's hard. So I put out a couple 360 videos from Wednesday's hunt.
I'm loving that you're doing that.
Never fired a shot. Janet shot at 2 singles that she should have killed, but no, I never fired a shot. It was 60 degrees Wednesday, and they just weren't flying. So we'll see what happens. I don't know.
Well,
60 degrees, I'd rather go fishing than hunting. So we might go fishing.
I'm not going to argue with me, and I will never argue with a Grant McIntosh fishing video. We got I am on vacation. So you guys, you guys are all awesome, and thank you so much for the happy birthday comments and everything like that. I am still on vacation. I am enjoying just a little bit of time off from YouTube because I'm trying to get caught up on some projects to make next year like this super amazing thing. And I'm just totally bowed down now with I added way too much workload to myself. So I'm trying to clear things up. I may be extending this vacation just a little bit longer. I do have a solid cemented date of mid-January where I have a new project I'm going to be filming. I don't know how quick I'm going to get that thing out the door, and I'm going to have stuff in between then and now. But if I completely disappear off the map, off the face of the earth by mid-January, I am going to be filming again and getting some stuff out. It's the holidays. I'm enjoying time with my family. I've got some other stuff in the works behind the scenes. It's causing me to suffer through some 16-hour days, and this is going to be a very short amount of time. But I appreciate you hanging out with me and just kind of giving me a little bit of lenience on that. Let me get through a little bit of what I'm calling a vacation. Like Dad was saying, no, we're talking about so he's talking about waiting for a weather to go get some wahoo. I'm hoping that's going to be like the next thing. We've got some stuff coming up. We've got clamming coming up this season. We've got flounder. Danny, you want to go spear some flounder? I would dearly love to get some insight on how to do flounder. I need a little assistance with that because I'm not totally great at it. If we get a weather, there's still pompano, there's still reds. If I can get an opportunity to get out there and do that, plus the stuff that I'm not willing to talk about just yet, all piled in on one big, massive dirt pile of crap that I'm working on right now. That's my day that I've got going on my next couple of weeks. Yeah. Grant, I appreciate that, man. Thank you, sir. Cheers to you.
Yeah, and I'm always game, bud. Try to get you on a kayak and get you out there hooking fish with me. That'd be pretty awesome.
I'm game. We're going to do that. We've had 2 or 3 trips now where we've talked about it, we've texted, and then for whatever reason, we weren't able to line up. That's probably more me than you. You've always been willing to do it. I think the one time your wife took the kayak I was supposed to be on. Other than that, it's always been me. Yeah, I'm the one that had to fail on it.
Yeah, she's the boss. When she takes it, it's like, yeah, I got to give it to her.
Yeah. I don't blame you at all. I'm in that same boat. I totally hear you on that. Guys, I want to thank you so much for joining me tonight. It has been a very, very happy birthday. And it was like a stupid, terribly stressful day. And you are all just instrumental in giving me a great day. If there's anything I can do to extend the same to you, I would very much like the opportunity to do so, because I owe you one. Thank you so much. I hope you all have a wonderful week, and I look forward to seeing what everybody has coming for us next Monday, where we're going to be at Grant, I believe, your channel?
Should be on
It should be at John's channel. Okay.
A&J.
Oh.
A&J Outdoors. Check them out. We're going to be back again on Monday. We're going to be wrapping up the second season. We've only got a couple episodes left before we regroup for everything that we got coming up next year. Ladies and gentlemen, have a wonderful day. We will catch you all next week. Take care and be safe.